Cool. Hey, everyone, YouTube. I'm really good at recordings. Okay. Hey everyone, Siam here, and I'm here with Matthew Smith, a man of many names. And yeah, it's the second of our, I guess, student interviews, etc. And like normal, I'm going to be whizzing through a whole bunch of different questions. So, without further ado, who are you, Matty? Tell us about yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Matty Smith, so I'm 30 years old, grew up in Essex, and I'm a pilot in the Royal Air Force.
Sweet. And what do you fly?
So fly Eurofighter Typhoon at the moment. It's an awesome aeroplane.
Yeah. In fact, not lucky, well earned. Nice one. Okay, we'll leave it there. I know that you can't talk about too much. So what drew you into the world of trading to begin with?
So, I'd actually followed a bit of your own journey through before, when you were kind of a bullion dealer and things like that, and your clearly backstory and your probable understanding of where I was coming from, you being ex-Air Force yourself, led me to start exploring that a bit more deeply. Then I'd seen that you'd kind of set up the real estate trader, and I followed you a bit through that, and it was like, well, it is actually and it's entirely valid skill, and I'm always looking for things to try and improve myself and to try and grow my mindset, and also then to try and grow my skill set. And trading, I saw as like a valid one of those things that I wanted to try and improve upon.
Nice. And so what has I guess been the most eye-opening thing that you found since learning trading, investing, money, and all that? So
for me, it's just been a bit of a greater understanding about the macroeconomic picture of kind of what's going on in the world, and why many of the news articles that are pushed out there are just complete hoop in terms of kind of what's actually going on. Now, as a super small fish, I don't ever suppose that I would be able to have an influence on many of that stuff. I'm just going along with the tide, as it were. But if I can, try and grow my own net worth off the back of that, then that would be absolutely awesome, and just be able to profit a bit on some of those bigger macro plays.
Nice. And do you have like a wealth target or wealth goal? Because obviously you are, I guess, hindered quite a lot time-wise being in the mob. I mean, Air Force.
Yeah, indeed. So I do, and the thing is, I've always tried to do things to grow that as quickly as I can. Some of which have been great, and some of which haven't been very, very great. And and I've failed at, and I've had to learn and pivot, and then try something new and different. So in terms of I have numerous goals and aspects in different aspects of my life, and career is I'm a junior pilot on the Typhoon Force, but my knowledge is kind of growing, and I'm I've got to kind of this position, and now I'm looking to continue learning, because there's always so much to learn, not just in that, but then in other things as well. And if I can, I will see myself, probably long term in the Air Force if I can. But then on the side of that, if I continue to try and grow my trading skill set in the background, then that would be awesome, and that will help boost those me towards those financial goals I've got.
Nice. And what's the biggest hiccup that you've made so far with trading? We all make them.
So, yeah, absolutely. So I had some recent wins, and after every kind of recent set of wins must come a set of losses, and I took some positions that were probably too big, and unfortunately that was not a wise thing to do, and I was trading kind of large position sizes without stops, which are all the kind of rookie newbie mistakes that people say that you're going to do, but you don't think it's going to be you, and then lo and behold it is you. And so
sorry if I've been a bad influence there.
You win or you learn. That's kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So trading without stops, etc. Any other hiccups?
Understanding that So there's a lot of excitement that can come from having a couple of big wins, and that in itself can be a detrimental, reinforcing, self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing, where it will then just continue to lead you down this path of, oh yeah, you've got this, you're really starting to understand this, and then all of a sudden the market can stay illogical longer than you can stay solvent. So and you have a big few drawdowns, etc.
It's so true. Every big loss I've ever had has come after big wins. So with crypto, I made like $1 million and then quickly lost $700,000 in a week. 2050, literally every six-figure win I've ever had has always been followed with a big loss. That's just, I guess, the little monkey in you going, you've done so well so far, so quickly. You could 10x it at this rate.
and it's back to that mindset thing, and reinforcing that, okay, don't ever let it get kind of away from you or ahead of yourself. And then coming back to the risk small amounts, win small amounts, rinse, repeat, and then you won't blow even risk blowing up an account kind of thing.
Yeah, which is why I think it's so important to have two accounts: your safe DIY pension account, which never has anything silly, and then your go large or go home type account. So for the random viewers out here, that's one of the things we do recommend in RT, to have those two accounts, because I myself have a bit of a gambling streak, and it's just a coping mechanism. So the borrowing account, literally the robot does everything in that borrowing account, and it just trundles along at 1 to 2% a month, whereas my go large account, I regularly blow it up. But when it does go big, it offsets more than most, all the losers. So there are the hiccups. What, for a new person getting into the markets, what is the biggest tip that you could give them? Obviously we talked about stops, yada yada yada, but any other tips, not necessarily hiccups?
So it's as much about a mindset thing as vice a technique thing. So you can go, and I found myself doing it only recently, after experiencing, a bit of a loss, going and researching all the new techniques and then trying something new and switch and thinking it's the techniques problem. Well, actually, and all that does, it means that you don't ever give a strategy long enough to actually work, because someone has tested it previously and it has got positive expectancy. And so it's about understand your own process and mindset when things aren't quite going, and when you're on that seventh losing trade in a row kind of thing. It's understanding, okay, sweet, let's just take some risk off the table, and let's go back to 0.25 up to a maximum of 1% a trade, and let's just kind of reevaluate here and give this strategy actually a chance to work, rather than strategy hopping, which tends to probably get you nowhere, because you have no confidence in any strategy at that point.
That's so true. You have to let a system reach expectancy, and you can only do that with a sufficiently large enough data set, amount of trades. So what strategy is your favorite? What are you predominantly doing with your manual trading? So
I've found myself, they talk about, and I think you've spoken about before, about how it goes slowly. When things are going up, things go up kind of relatively slowly, and then they fall kind of down off a cliff. And so I've found myself being prone to short trades, actually. So I've been finding myself shorting things an awful lot, looking for shorts in many places, and that certainly, I've just been recently trying to analyze kind of a bit of how I was trading. And essentially at the moment, with the what are we in? We're in December 2020, with the economic situation around the world isn't really getting that much better, and I feel like there's a lot of this uncertain energy that's kind of building up, but yet all the markets are still suggesting long.
Is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. and so I've unfortunately, been steadily shorting that on the web. It's got to break now. It's got to break now. It's got to go short now. And just been probably too early with that. And unfortunately, that's been a to my downfall. I made some great wins,
Yeah, you did.
and then just recently had some big losses, particularly with oil going to a new higher price
It's
recently.
the world is nuts. The world, like, I've never seen such a screwed up situation where the world is on fire, literally everything. Unemployment's through the roof, debt's going through the roof, currency creation's through the roof. Like, everyone's going bust or delinquent or bankrupt, yet everything is going up stock-wise. Like, all the indexes is going up, oil is going up. At some point, I'm with you, mate. At some point, something's going to disconnect, and it's going to be horrific, but how long can you hold in there? That's the question. So, okay. And is there an error that you keep on repeating?
Yes, and so the thing that I've kind of been looking at over recently is just throwing the 200 EMA on the chart. If things are above the 200 EMA, then it's trending upwards. Yeah. So therefore, it is a stupid decision to take short trades against that, because you're shorting the trend. Yeah. And when you're looking on the daily 4-hour kind of time frame, so that is a bad move. So plot the 200 EMA. If it's above that, take longs. If it's sustaining below that, take shorts. And that should keep you safe. That will mean that you miss out on some moves as things kind of transition, particularly on the daily, from being above the 200 EMA to below. But that, by and large, would allow you to capture 60% of most major moves. Yeah. That is a lesson, because now if I plot the 200 EMA on some of those charts that I was looking at, and I shot
very
that,
bullish,
that was above, and the EMAs would just stand out nicely to the upside. I shouldn't have shorted that. That was a bad decision. Sure. So it's kind of being able to have that awareness and think, okay, I've made bad decisions there, and just adding maybe an extra step into any manual trade. Yeah,
extra filter. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
The logic gate of, is it above the 200 EMA longs? Is it below the 200 EMA shorts? And filter out anything else.
In fact, there's lots of fund managers out there with billions of dollars of assets under management that have that one strategy, literally the 200 EMA or the 150 EMA. And it's as simple as that. So okay, that's cool. Okay, so other than the nice profits you made, or some of the nice losses you made, etc. So basically, other than profits and money, are there any extra beneficial side effects that you found from learning how to trade?
So it's just come from. I spent probably 2 years before I got into trading being absolutely fascinated by kind of global economics, and it's being able to now actually put kind of real figures and real charts kind of against that as a backdrop, and that was probably me without realizing it, going away and trying to learn some of the macro fundamentals of okay, why does certain stuff happen in the world, and this also then it links into political pictures and some of the things that I end up being asked to do in my kind of line of work, where a great book, Prisoners of Geography by Tim Marshall, essentially explains in a very, very condensed format why certain world leaders act in the ways they do. And if you put that perspective onto the back of then some macro fundamental understanding, and now I'm kind of going into a deeper level and looking more closely at charts. Okay, now I can start to hopefully understand a bit more why you can come out and say some of the things that you do in the videos because oil tankers are being scrapped right now because they're too expensive to run, etc. Things like that, and that's been a really kind of fascinating kind of way to start big and end up quite small and into the nitty gritty and into the weeds.
Nice, cool. And last question, penultimate question. So eventually, let's say it's been a year or two from now on, you've grown your account nicely, you're getting nice profits, etc. What are your plans for your profits? Like, or is it just to trade it forever, or are you looking to divest those funds, or like what's the plan?
Yeah, so a kind of mixture of things. It's initially wanting to grow the account, not only just to be able to prove to myself that I can do that and solidify that skill set, but then also use the trading bot as well. And initially, my goal for kind of this run up was, okay, at the end of the year, I wanted to have essentially 25k to put in the trading bot, and just then kind of allow the trading bot to run and do its thing. Run and do its thing for the next kind of 3 or 4 years, and then kind of make some fundamental life choices at that kind of point. And that probably is still the kind of overarching goal. Beyond that, I would also try and siphon off some into a business that I recently that I set up in December last year with my partner.
Oh, sweet! What is
it? So that is in rental properties, in the rental market.
Cool.
And yeah, so we work with landlords to try and get their houses let to good people, essentially.
Oh, rent to rent, you're doing?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Nice. And so your biz partner, is he or she doing the work, like not the work, but like how have you split those two roles up?
Yeah, my partner Nick, she is awesome at most of the kind of administration type stuff, and into the super detail, and I can do that, but it's something that I don't especially enjoy very much. Things like the compliance and most of the tenant side of stuff, kind of dealing with those sort of things. I tend to be slightly more landlord facing, for want of a better phrase, where I will happily go out and speak to landlords that have got things in their possession, and be able to speak to them to help them understand a potential opportunity, how we can benefit and they can benefit as well.
Yeah, nice. It's good cash flow. With rent to rent, there's no risk of like buying a house and then getting in negative equity straight away, and so okay, cool. The last question, for someone that's brand new looking to get into trading, what are the top 3 tips that you could give them?
Before you do trade anything with kind of real money, you have to have traded on a demo account for a good length of time until you feel like you've got some strategies, or at least a strategy fleshed out, that has a positive expectancy, and you back tested it enough to be able to confidently do that by looking at a chart on whatever time frames you're going for. In order to do that, you probably got to go away and get some training and trading education first. And there are lots and lots of people that will sell overpriced courses. And the greatest thing I think about the RT is that it's so well priced for everything that you get, and the trading bot that's just that you've coded has been absolutely awesome as well, on top of everything that you already get. And so I think that has been absolutely epic, so thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
So that's the second point, trading education. And then the third point is to genuinely ask questions about your own mindset. And when and you probably only get to that kind of point, unfortunately, when you've started making some wins and started having some big losses, because it's at that point, okay, you have to understand that the money that whatever money that you put in had to be risk capital that you were willing and able and could afford to lose. And if that's the case, and you're still having kind of big highs and big lows with your kind of mindset, then you have to go away and be able to work on that on your own. So first one is to recap, have a good strategy with a positive expectancy. Second, in order to do that, you've probably got to go away and get some trading education from somebody who is 5 or 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you, that has done it and has proven to have done it. And third, make sure you work on your mindset at the same time as working on your technical stuff.
Beautiful. I couldn't agree more. Amazing. Well, yeah, sorry we've gone a bit longer than expected, but thank you so much for your time, mate. Wherever
It's
you
my
are in the
pleasure,
world.
yeah.
And yeah, much appreciated. Now I'll see you in the group.
Sweet.
Cool.
See you soon.
Thanks everyone that's listening. See ya.